Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to the session on IBPS Clerk Prelims Examination for 2018. Today we are going to start with the topic of calculation, that is second session on calculation. Previously I have done for you calculation session 1, in which I have discussed with you multiplication techniques, also the other concepts such as using the last digit of numbers and the sum of digits of numbers. In today's session we will be focusing on three main things. One will be the concept of square and shortcut techniques on finding squares of numbers. Next we will be also looking at the square root and cube roots of numbers, and also some concepts based on fractions and decimals. Alright. So first of all we will see the previous session question from the CPP that most students had got wrong. So let us look at this question here. In a class of 25 students, the average marks of all students is 48. So this is from the topic of average for you. The average is an important topic in the examination. Out of the different questions which come in the prelims paper, the mathematics section, at least one question will definitely be based on average, and average also is an important part in data interpretation. So here we say that in a class of 25 students, the average marks of the students is 48. All the 25 students taken together, the average marks is 48. If the marks of a new student is added, then the average becomes 50. So average is increasing from 48 to 50. When we take into account a new student, so we are increasing the number of students by 1. Find the marks of the new student. You can directly use the formula here, that is number added. Whenever adding a new number changes the average, we can directly find out the number added in one step. So number added is equal to old average. The old average is given to you, plus n plus 1 into the difference of new average and old average. So this is one line formula. You can use this and immediately find out the new number that has been added. So here we are finding out the number added, we are finding the marks of the new student, and what is given to us? The old average is given to us, the new average is given to us, and n is given to us. Earlier n was 25, now it is 25 plus 1, that is why we are doing n plus 1. So old average is 48 plus n plus 1, that is 25 plus 1, that is 26, into the difference of new average minus old average, that is 48 plus 26 into 2, 52 plus 48, that is equal to 100. That is what is mentioned here in short. 48 plus 2 into 26, 48 plus 26 into 2. So you should also understand how did we get that 48 plus 2 into 26. It is based on this direct formula of average, where you can find out the number added, the new number that is added based on what is the new average, what is the old average, and what is the value of n, that is number of students. Now start with the first concept for today of square techniques. The first concept that I am going to do for you is the square of numbers ending in 5. How do we find out the square of numbers ending in 5? Very useful. Often you will find questions where this technique will come into play. You have questions on approximation in the examination, 5 questions are there from approximation. In questions on geometry you will find this very useful, as well as in the mains examination for clerk you may get 5 questions directly based on calculation itself. So a very important technique. What is this technique? Let us say I am finding out the square of 35. So to find out the answer in one step, 35 square, just let me just correct this number here on top. Okay. So 35 square is equal to, now how much will it will be equal to? Let us see. The direct method is, if a number is ending in 5, you take the number on the left hand side and multiply it with the next number, that is 3 plus 1. Multiply 3 with 3 plus 1, 3 plus 1 is 4. So 3 into 4 is 12, and then we write down 5 square, 5 square is 25, so the answer becomes any number ending in 5, this technique can be used. So let's say for example, if we have 65 square, what will you do? You will multiply 6 with 7, that becomes 42, and 5 square is 25. So that's 4225. You can even use it for 3 digit numbers also. Let's say 125 square is how much? So to multiply now 12 into 13, and 12 into 13 is 156, and 5 square is 25. Some of you may take some extra time in multiplying 12 into 13. So you should know this concept. Whenever you are multiplying two consecutive numbers, so note this concept separately as multiplying two consecutive numbers. When you are multiplying two consecutive numbers, to get the product, what you should do is add the square of the smaller number here. What is the smaller number here? 12, right? So जो दो नंबर आप मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे हैं उसमें जो छोटा नंबर है 12, उसका स्क्वायर ले लीजिए आप. टेक द स्क्वायर ऑफ द स्मॉल नंबर एंड ऐड द नंबर्स. 12 प्लस 144 कितना होता है? 156. This will help you in finding the product of consecutive numbers, very helpful in the examination. Suppose I am finding what is 14 into 15. So 14 square is 196. 196 plus 14 is equal to 210. This you should be able to do without even using pen and paper. Let's say what is 18 into 19, 18 plus 324, that is 342, clear? What is 15 into 16, 15 plus 225, that is 240. Very simple. When you are multiplying consecutive numbers, just take the square of the smaller number and add that to the number smaller. So smaller number plus its square, add the square, 240. 225 जो है वो स्क्वायर है इसका 15 का, और उसमें आप क्या ऐड कर रहे हैं 15, तो आप उनको ऐड करिए. 15 प्लस 225, आंसर हो गया 240. जितने स्क्वायर्स आपको याद होंगे उतनी जल्दी आप कैलकुलेट करिएगा. फॉर एग्जांपल आपको पता करना है 23 इंटू 24 कितना होता है. 23 स्क्वायर होता है 529. तो आप 23 प्लस 529 ऐड करिए, 552 आ गया आंसर आपका. सो अगर आपको निकालना है यहाँ पे 235 स्क्वायर, ठीक है. सो यू टेक 23 एंड मल्टीप्लाई इट विद 24. Using the technique discussed here, multiplying consecutive numbers, 23 plus 5, 29, 552, and 5 square is how much? 25. So you see it's very simple to get the answers here. So this is the first technique for square calculation, that is for numbers ending in 5. We can use it for 2-digit numbers as well as for 3-digit numbers. While finding out the square of 3-digit numbers, if you are multiplying consecutive numbers, use this technique here discussed for multiplying consecutive numbers. So one quick review here. If a number is ending in 5, please remember this technique can be used only with numbers ending in 5. हर जगह इसको अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते आप. जैसे कोई नंबर एंड हो रहा है 4 पे या 6 पे, वहाँ पे नहीं अप्लाई कर सकते. नंबर मस्ट बी एंडिंग इन 5. तो दो सिंपल स्टेप्स होते हैं यहाँ पे. एक तो जो आपको लेफ्ट नंबर है जो भी है 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, उसको आप नेक्स्ट नंबर से मल्टीप्लाई करिए. 3 इंटू 4 कितना हो गया? 12. ये तो डायरेक्टली कर सकते हैं. और 5 स्क्वायर इज हाउ मच? 25. 6 इंटू 7 42, एंड 5 स्क्वायर 25. 12 into 13 156, and 5 square 25. Okay, so very simple, very helpful in exams. Let's now go to the second technique. Second technique is for numbers ending in 1. If a number is ending in 1, suppose for example you have to find out what is 31 square, what is 41 square, or let's say 61 square. Or if you want to find out what is 121 square or 141 square. Now you can calculate 31 into 31 and get the answer, but what is the fastest way of doing it? आप suppose यहाँ पे 5 numbers है, right? 5 number का square आप कितने time में निकालते हो? Can you solve this in let's say 7-8 seconds? ठीक है? 31 square, 41 square, 61 square, 121 square, 141 square. It will take some time for you, right? You can't get all these answers done in 10 seconds, but if you learn the shortcut technique, then it will become possible. बहुत ही simple technique है. First what we do is take 1 and write down here 1. Now the number on the left hand side is how much here? 3. जो left number है वो 3 है. So आप double कर दीजिए इसको, 3 into 2. यहाँ पे मैं डिटेल में लिख रहा हूँ, पर एग्जाम में आप डायरेक्टली करते हैं इसको. व्हाट इज 3 into 2? 6. और जो नंबर है 3, द नंबर 3 ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, स्क्वायर इट. So what is the square of 3? 9. So what is your answer? 961. So a simple technique है. 1, first we do 1, write down 1, then we do double of the number. Double of the number on the left hand side. जो यहाँ पे नंबर है 3, उसको आप डबल करना है. Double of 3 is how much? 6. हो गया 6. And then we do square of the number. Square of 3 is 9. So that's 9. 961. 1 double square. ठीक है, always go from right towards left, don't go from left to right. So 41 square will be how much? 1, 4, double of 4 is 8, and the square of 4 is 16. So what will be the answer? 1681. Suppose you are finding 61 square. Now here we will have to take a carry. So आप इसको थोड़ा ध्यान से देखिए, focus on this technique. 1, first comes 1, that is fixed. Now the number is 6 here, so what we do? Double of 6. Double of 6 is 12. Don't write 12. Take a carry on top of 2, so that will become 1. Now what is 6 square? 36. But this carry is here, no? This carry we should add. तो carry आता है, उसको add करिए, आपको number आ जाएगा 3721. Just focus on this technique. So once you learn this, you can do this also without using pen and paper. Just focus on where we are getting a carry. For example, 71 square, 1, 14, there is a carry of 1. 49 plus 150, so answer will become 5041. 71 square, right? So you see 1, 14 carry, directly we will do now 49 plus 150, so we will write directly 5041. Very, very simple, very easy. We can use it for 3-digit numbers also. So we have 121 square, 1 is here, double of 12 is 24, so carry is 2. And what is the square of 12? 144 plus 2, 146. So final answer writing directly here 14641. Then 141 square, write down 1, double of 14 is 28, so 2 is left as a carry. Now 14 square is 196, that I am sure you know. 196 plus 2 is 198, so your final answer becomes 19881. So this is a very simple technique. You first write down 1, then you write down the double of the number on the left hand side. जो double है, जो number है जैसे 1, यहाँ पे 3 है, यहाँ पे 4 है, जो भी number है left hand side में, whether it is a single digit number or a 2-digit number, you double it. And if you get a 2-digit number after doubling, take a carry, like we have taken a carry here 2. Now square of the number 12 square 144 plus 2, that becomes 146. So this is about numbers ending in 1. Now we will move to the next technique of square calculation, that is what is called as base method. Now base method is based on taking some base value. We can take 100 or we can take 200, 300, any number, we can take any number, 1000, 10,000 as a base, and we can find out this square of numbers. Very simple, easy to understand. Let us see with some examples first. Now first we will learn how to use 100 as a base value. Suppose I am finding out what is 108 square. Your base is 100, so this number 108 is how much more than 100? जो number दिया गया है वो 100 से कितना ज़्यादा है? 8. ठीक है, 100 plus 8 is 108. तो आप क्या करेंगे? First step में you add these numbers, 108 plus 8, you get how much? 116. Now what is the square of 8? 64. So answer becomes 11664. फिर से देखिए क्या किया हमने, पहले यहाँ पे 108 plus 8 gives us 116 and 8 square becomes 64 and the final answer becomes 11664. So just understand how we are going about. Let us take one more example. 106 square. So this number is how much more than 100? 6 more than 100. So what you will do first, you will add these numbers. What we have done, 106 plus 6 is equal to 112. Now what is 6 square? 36. So what is your final answer? 11236. Sometimes you take carry also. Suppose I want to find out 112 square. How much more than 100? 12. So add 112 plus 12. I am doing it very slowly, but as you learn the technique, you start doing it faster. 112 plus 12 is 124, and what is 12 square? 144. So you will take 1 as carry. See, when the base has got 2 zeros, we can write only up to 2 digits here. 64 is a 2 digit number, 36 is a 2 digit number, and 12 square 144 is a 3 digit number. So take 44 and take 1 as carry. This one will get added to 124, and the final answer will be 12544. So little bit of practice and you can see how fast this technique will become for you. Let us say for example 107 square, so 107 plus 714, and 7 square is 49, so what is your answer? 11449. Now we can use this technique for numbers less than 100 also. Let us say for example I am finding out what is 96 square. Our base is still 100 because numbers are close to 100. So 96 is less than 100. So we will find out now how much less the number is from 100. 96 is 100 minus 4, so 4 less than 100. So what we do now is 96 minus 4. So what is 96 minus 4? 92, that is one part of the answer. And what is 4 square? 16, that is another part of the answer. So what is your final answer? 9216. 96 square is 9216. Remember, when number is more we are going to add, and when number is less we are going to subtract. Okay. Let us say for example 92 square. So 92 minus 8 will do directly, because 92 is 100 less 8 less than 100. So 92 minus 8 is 84, and 8 square is 64. So final answer is 8464. Correct. Let us say 97 square. So how much less than 100? 3. 97 minus 3, 94, and 3 square is 9, but you write 09. Why 09? Because the base has got 2 zeros. So we have seen for both numbers less than 100 and more than 100, we have seen when to add 0 here, when to take carry, all these concepts I have discussed with you. So now we will see what happens in base method when the base is not 100. Let us say for example, so we are continuing with the base method technique here. Suppose the number is 208 square. So you learn with 200 and then you can apply it for other numbers also. So 200 is a base, we cannot take 100 as a base here. 208 is how much more than 200? 8 more than 200. So what you do, you will add these numbers, 208 plus 8, 216, and 8 square is 64, but the answer is not 21664 because the base is not 100, the base is 200. So what you do when the base is 200? The base 200 है तो आप इसको multiply करिए, ये जो left part है यहाँ पे, this you multiply with 2, so you get 43264. What is the final answer? 43264. Let us see this with one more example here. 206 square. What is our base? Our base is 200. How much more it is from the base? 6. So what we are going to do? Add these two numbers, 212, and what is 6 square? 36. Now the left part, this part that you got after adding, you multiply this with 2. Why you are multiplying with 2? Because 200 is nothing but 2 times 100. So 424, so it becomes 42436. Just a minute. One second, I think there is something wrong with the, okay, we will restart the program. Wait just a minute, we will just restart the program and then we will continue with the same place, base method for numbers other than base of 100. So if it is 200 or 300, what do we do? Okay. So let us see. 1 second. So, we start from the point where we stopped. We are talking about base method, and we are talking about numbers which are where we have the base as 200 or 300. What do we do? So, again let us quick recap now. Suppose the number is 208 square, then this number is how much more than the base? That is 8 more than the base. So, we add 208 plus 8, that is 216, and 8 square is 64, but this part which you get after adding, multiply with 2 because the base is 200, so you get 43264. Suppose we take the number as 296 square. Now, what will be the base here? 300. How much less than 300? 4. 296 minus 4, 292, and 4 square 16, but this number must be multiplied with 3 because the base is now 300, that is 3 times 100. So, 6 and 3 into 29 is 87. So, 87616. That is how you are going to use base method for numbers where the base is not 100, 200 or 300, whether the number is less than the base or the number is more than the base, the method remains same. That is a technique for base method. Now, one technique that is very common for smaller numbers, numbers in the range of 25 to 75. Suppose you want to find out what is 42 square. You take two reference points, one is 25, one is 50. You see the difference of 42 from 25, we will see the difference is 17. So, it is 17, so write down 17 here. Now, the difference of 42 from 50 is 8, write down 8 square here, 64. So, what is your answer? 1764. You can take any number and try it out. Let us say for example 38 square. Just you have to keep in mind the two reference points. What is the difference from 25, 30, and from 50 it is how much? 12. And 12 square is 144, so 1 is carry here, the answer becomes 1444. This technique is for all the numbers in the range of 25 to 75. Next we will see numbers based on patterns. It is not very frequently asked in exams, but if you get, you will see. One is 3 square, the pattern of 3 square is 9, and 33 square is equal to, now we take 0 and 9, and 9 plus 9 minus 1, 8, and 0 plus 1, 1, that becomes 1089. So, remember this is the pattern for 3. So, I will be showing you the pattern for 6 also, and then we will see how do we translate this pattern into finding out more squares. Let us say 6 square is 36, what will be 66 square? So, take 3 and 6, and from the right number you subtract 1 and left number you add 1. The same pattern is followed by 9 also. 9 square is 81, want to find 99 square, write down 8 and 1, from the right number you subtract 1, it becomes 0, and left number you add 1, it becomes 9. So, this is the pattern for numbers 3, 6 and 9, not for all numbers, for numbers 3, 6 and 9. Now, what we do when we go on doing it like this, 3, 3, 3 square, then we will get 1, 1, 0, 8, 8, 9. So, what is happening? In every step we are subtracting 1 from 9 and adding 1 to 0, correct. In every step we get 1 more 8 and 1 more 1. So, 3, 3, 3, 3 square. Now, this will now become 3 times 1, 0, 3 times 8, 9. So, what we can say is that if number of 3's is n, suppose we have n 3's, the number of 1's will be n minus 1, number of 8's will also be n minus 1, and the 0 part and the 9 part will be fixed. And same thing we can do for 6 as well as 9. So, 6, 6, 6 square will become 4, 4, 3, 5, 5, 6, and then we can go on doing this also. 9, 9, 9 square is 9, 9, 8, 0, 0, 1. Now, this is the pattern for 3, 6 and 9. There is also a pattern for 1. So, pattern for 1 is like this, 1 square is 1, 11 square is 121, 111 square is 12321. So basically what you are doing is you count how many ones are there. So there are 3 ones, right? 1, 2, 3, stop at 3 and then reverse from 3 to 1. Okay. Suppose we have 1, 1, 1, 1, 4 times 1. So write down here 1, 2, 3, 4 and then reverse from there 3, 2, 1. Clear? So the answer becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Suppose we have to find out 5 times 1 square, that will become equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So these are this fifth type of square techniques based on patterns. Now we will see the previous session contest question. Now here the answer for this question is A, and I discussed with you the concept of finding out the or getting the answer using last digit check and unit digit check. You see here 4 plus 2 is 6 and this is 8 here. So if I take this number on the right hand side, make it plus x, right. So on the right hand side also we need 6 because 4 plus 2 is 6. So 8 plus what will give you 6? 8 plus 4 will not give you 6, 8 plus 4 will not give you 6. So either the answer is D or the answer is A. Check with the unit digits and you will find out that the answer is A, 612.58. Clear? Now this technique I have discussed in my previous class on calculation, where I was using the last digit of numbers for eliminating the answer options and then using the sum of digit numbers for finalizing on the answer options. If you want, you can do the whole calculation and check the answer, or you can just find out the last 2 digits and check the answer. Okay. So the answer is 612.58. Now the time for the contest question of today, just now I discussed with you. So this is the question: what is the square of 6 times 3, right? So we have 6 times 3. Just now I have discussed the technique with you. If you are following, you will quickly apply the technique and you will post the answer in the comment section. What is the square of 6 times, right? This is based on pattern square calculation. So just go through this and post the answer in the comment section. So now we will continue with the class and see other square techniques that is very important for you. So one is square root. So we will go to the square root technique. Learning how to find square root of numbers very quickly, very simple technique this is. Okay. First we write down the square of numbers from 1 to 9. 1 square 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25, 6 square is 36, 7 square is 49, 8 square is 64 and 9 square is 81. Now you will see here, we will make a very quick table. We will say the square ends in and on the right hand side we will say square root will end in. So observing the last digit of the square of numbers from 1 to 9, square root will end in. So based on the last digit of the square, we can find out the last digit of the square root. You first of all see that only 5 square ends in 5, no other number is ending in 5, so that makes it very simple. And you see if the square ends in 5, and we also say 0 square is 0. So if square ends in 0, square root will end in 0. If the square ends in 5, one second, we will just have to restart the entire thing. Okay, so it seems the system is restarting every time. So one second, we will be back on track. Okay, so let's look at square roots. How to find out square root of numbers? We should write down the squares from 0 to 9. Let's do it once again. 0 square is 0, 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25, 6 square is 36, 7 square is 49, 8 square is 64 and 9 square is 81. So, what we do by writing these numbers is we look at the last digit of the squares, okay, and then we will say we will look at the last digit of the square root or square of numbers, square ends in, and based on this we will find out the square root will end in how much, square root will end in. So, this is a technique of finding out the square root of perfect squares, okay, will end in. So, first of all you see if the square ends in 0, square root will end in 0. So, no other number is ending in 0, can you see that right here, very simple, no other number is ending in 0 and similarly no other number is ending in 5. So, if the square ends in 5, the square root will also end in 5, okay. But for other numbers you see there is like there are two options, 1 square is also ending in 1 and 9 square is also ending in 1. So, we say that if square ends in 1, square root will end in 1 or 9. Similarly, if square ends in 4, square root will end in 2 or 8. If square ends in 9, the square root will end in 3 or 7, and if square ends in 6, the square root will end in 4 or 6. So, this table if we know, and if you know basic squares of numbers, then there is no difficulty in finding out the square roots. So, you see here, suppose I want to find out what is the square root of, what is the square root of 5. So, I will take two examples here, with this you will understand for all the numbers. So, first step, we are finding out the square root of numbers, the first step is to cut out the last two digit of the numbers. So, 25. So, what is the last digit here? 5. So, what is the rule here? When square ends in 5, square root ends in 5. So, square root will end in 5. This is done. Now, look at the other number here, 56. Is 56 a perfect square? No. 56 is between which two squares? If you see here, 7 and 8. 7 square is 49 and 8 square is 64. So, we always take the smaller number here 7 and write down, and that gives you the answer. What is the square root of 5625? 75. Clear? Let us take one more example of a number ending in 1, a number ending in 5. Let us say what is the square root of 11025? So, we have 5 digits here, we will cut out the last 2 digits. So, 25. So, 5 means 5 and 110, is 110 a perfect square? No, it is between 10 square and 11 square. So, we will take the smaller number 10, write down here 10, and that is your answer 105. Suppose you have to find out what is the square root of, let us say, a number like 2704. It is not ending in 5, it is ending in 4. So, for other numbers like 1, 4, 9 or 6, you will see the technique once, and that you will use for all the numbers. So, the number is ending in 4. So, rule says that it means square root should end in 2 or 8. Now, is 27 a perfect square? No. See, 27 is between 5 square 25 and 6 square 36. We always take the smaller number, that is 5 here. So, 52 or 58, but we cannot have two answers, we need one answer. So, how do we find out whether 52 is the answer or 58 is the answer? Very simple, just look at here, look at the way I am doing it very carefully. We take this number, I have written 52 and 58, so I take 5 and multiply it with the number which comes after 5. What comes after 5? 6. What is 5 into 6? 30. Is 27 less than 30? Yes. So, answer will be the smaller number 52. So, answer is 52. Let us take one more example here for you to understand. Let us take the number 9216. What is the square root of 9216? Take 6 here. What is the rule? So, 6. Square root is ending in 4 or 6, 4 or 6. Is 92 a perfect square? No. 92 is between 9 square 81 and 10 square 100. So what we do, we take the smaller number 9. So either the answer is 94 or the answer is 96, but we want to find out what is the right answer. So take this number 9 and multiply with the number which comes after 9, that is 10. What is 9 into 10? 90. 92 is more than 90, yes, so the answer will be the greater number. See here, 5 into 6 30, 27 was less than 30, so answer was a smaller number. 9 into 10, that is 9, the number after 9 is 10, so 9 into 10 is 90, here 92 is more than 90, so answer is the greater number. This is the way of finding out the square root of numbers. Easily you can find out the square root of perfect squares up to 5 digit numbers or even up to 6 digit numbers. It all depends on how many squares you know. As a student preparing for banking examinations, at least you should know squares till 25, okay. Alright, so now we will go to the cube root technique. How to find out cube roots of numbers. Again here we will first write down the cubes of numbers. 0 cube is 0, 1 cube is 1, 2 cube is 8. You will see here that in cubes every number is ending in a distinct digit, different digit, okay. 3 cube is 27, 4 cube is 64, there is no repetition happening here, okay. And 5 cube is 125, 6 cube is 216, 7 cube is 343, 8 cube is 512, 9 cube is 729, okay. So what you will see is that every number from 0 to 9 is ending in a distinct digit. कोई भी number repeat नहीं हो रहा है, हर number एक different number पे end हो रहा है. जैसे 0 अगर 0 पे end हो रहा है तो कोई और number 0 पे end नहीं हो रहा है यहाँ पे. Similarly, if 1 cube is ending in 1, no other number is ending in 1. It's different from squares. In squares we have just seen, right, that if 1 is ending in 1, 1 square is ending in 1, 9 square was also ending in 1. That is not happening while finding cube roots, and that is why finding cube roots is easier. What we have to do is just remember this: 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9 always end in themselves. Write down the rule here: 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 and 9, when you are finding cube roots, will end in themselves. Clear? So if the cube is ending in 0, cube root will also end in 0. That is what we mean by this. What is left now? 2, 3, 8 and 7 and 8. So we will see here, you see 2 is ending in 8. So 2 cube last digit is 8 and 8 cube last digit is 2. So we will say here 2 ends in 8. I will just write like this: 2 ends in 8 and 8 ends in 2. That means if this cube is ending in 2, cube root ends in 8 and the cube is ending in 8, cube root ends in 2. Similarly, 3 will end in 7, 7 will end in 3. If the cube is ending in 3, cube root will end in 7 and cube is ending in 7, cube root will end in 3. So एक बार रूल का recap देखिए आप: 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 9 end in themselves. So अपने जो same digit है वही last digit होगा cube root का भी. 2 will become 8, 8 will become 2, 3, 7, 7, 3. Let's take one example, and with this you will understand how to find cube roots of all numbers. Let's say what is the cube root of 389017. Observe carefully every step that I am doing here. Very easy to find cube roots. 389017 cube root है, third root है, so 3 numbers will cut out. What is the last number here? 7. So 7 will end in 3. This rule is there. 7 ends in 3. Now what is left here? 389. Is 389 a perfect cube? If you know cubes of numbers, you will see that no, 389 is between 7 cube and 8 cube. It is between 343 and 512. So the answer will be, we will take the smaller number here, 7. So what is the cube root of 389017? 73. Clear? That is how we find out cube roots of numbers. You can take more numbers and you can check and see the answer. Let us say for example 1728, cut out last number, 8 ends in 2, 1 is a perfect cube, so 12. Yes, very very simple. See 2744, finding out the cube root of 2744. out last number. 4 ends in 4. 4 will end in themselves. So 4 will end in 4. 2 is not a perfect cube. It is between 1 cube and 2 cubes. So take 1 and answer becomes 14. So very simple technique of finding out cube roots of numbers within 2-3 seconds itself. Any number up to 6 digit, as I have shown here, this is a 6 digit number. You can find out the cube roots within no time. Okay, so next we will look at some of the concepts of fractions. In fractions, what basically I want you to understand is this concept. Suppose you are working in fractions and you are solving this 6 5 by 8 plus 29 3 by 8 minus, let us say, 31 2 by, or let us say 31 1 by 8. Okay, what is it equal to? So if you have these kind of calculations in your examination, please understand, don't start simplifying the mixed fractions. Remember that 6 5 by 8 is a short form of writing 6 plus 5 by 8. So what we can do actually is, we can take the numbers separately and the fractions separately. So we can say 6 plus 29 minus 31 on one side, and then we can take out 5 by 8 plus 3 by 8 minus 1 by 8 on the other side. Okay. So what will happen? 29 plus 6, 35 minus 31 is 4, and what do we get here? 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7, 7 by 8. So what is your answer? 4, 7 by 8. So you get a number of questions based on these mixed fractions. Please don't convert mixed fractions always into normal fractions and then calculate. You take out the integer part separately and the fraction part separately and solve. You will see that the answer you are obtaining is much faster, in a much simpler way. You will get the answer for questions based on fractions. Okay. Alright, now one technique for decimals that I want you to learn, that is very important and useful for recurring decimals. How do you find out or convert recurring decimals into fractions? Let us say, for example, if the question comes in the exam 0.373737 up to infinity, that is a recurring decimal because repeating, 37 is repeating, into 198 is equal to how much? 0.37373737 up to infinity into 198 is equal to how much? If you do not know how to convert a recurring decimal into a fraction, it will be a very difficult task for you. So what you can do is this: learn this technique. When you are converting a recurring decimal into fraction, just see how many digits are repeating. Okay, 2. Write down the repeating digits here, 37. Okay, if 2 digits are repeating, write down 2 9s in the denominator. Okay, so this is the concept of converting a recurring decimal into a fraction. So for example, point A. So if A is repeating, it is equal to A by 9. If we say point AB, so 2 digits are repeating here, is equal to AB by 99. If we say point ABC, 3 digits are repeating now, it will be equal to ABC by 999. That is a very easy, very simple way of converting a recurring decimal into a fraction. So 37 by 99 into 198, 99 will cancel 198 2 times, and 37 into 2 is 74. So if you ever get a question based on recurring decimals, you will know the fastest way of solving and getting the answer in the case of recurring decimals, right. So these are two techniques from fractions and decimals that I wanted to cover, along with the concepts of squares, square roots, cubes and cube roots. So in today's session on calculation, we have seen a number of techniques. You can go and watch the video again, and I am really sorry for the interruptions that you had while we were having the discussion because of the problem in the software. Okay. So we have discussed the concepts on squares, 5 techniques on finding squares, numbers ending in 5, numbers ending in 1, base method, and then we had the method of numbers from 25 to 75, and also pattern based techniques, which are very different from any other technique that we know from calculation. Okay. So 5 techniques we have seen for finding out squares of numbers, and then we have studied square roots, cube roots, as well as one technique from fractions to deal with questions on mixed fractions, and one technique for decimals to deal with questions on recurring decimals. Watch the video, make notes, take some examples and practice and verify your answer by using a calculator. Okay, it's very important to be good in calculation if you want to do well in the banking examination. So it's important to watch these videos and practice as much as you can. In addition to that, start learning squares of numbers till 25, learn cubes up to 10, and also improve on your multiplication table. So now is the time for the class practice pack, in which I have selected 10 questions for you from this topic that we have discussed in today's session. Okay, so those who have passport access, once you hear the sound, start solving these CPP questions. The question that most of you will get wrong, I will be discussing in my next session. So best of luck to you, and thank you for watching the video.